Hello, my amazing artist. Now that we've learned all about Clementine Hunter and her beautiful zinnias, let's create some zinnias of our own. So you can start with either a pencil or a black crayon, that is up to you. I'm going to start with a pencil and then later I'll trace with a black crayon. Now I have my paper nice and tall, and I'm going to start at the top of my paper and I'm just going to draw some circles only about halfway down. And those are going to be the flowers for my vase. Now, they don't have to be perfect circles. You can make them wavy if you like. I'm just going to do about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, down here, I'm going to start my vase, and then I'll go back and fill in space with more flowers and more stems. So underneath my flowers I just drew, I'm going to draw a line across, but it's going to stop before it hits either side. We don't want to go all the way across. We want to have a little space on the other side. Then I'm going to make a curved line on each side like a letter C. So one curved line on this side and one curved line on this side. Now I'm going to connect the two lines across, just like that. And then I'm going to make the foot of the vase. So the foot of the vase is just a curved line down on either side, and then another line straight across, just like that. Now, if you like, you can add a handle to your vessel, your vase. You can put one handle, you can do two. It really depends, one, if you like it, and two, if you have space. So I do have a little space, so I'm going to make two curved lines for this handle, and I'm going to make another one over here, two curved lines for this handle. Now that we have our vase, we can go back up here and we can fill in more flowers and stems. So I'm seeing I have a lot of space here, so I'm actually going to do another zinnia there. I'm going to do a smaller zinnia here and another one here, and I'm just kind of filling in our space. Remember, space is the area on your picture, and you don't want to have a lot of white space or background space. So we want to make sure we're drawing and filling in our space on our paper. Now I'm going to add another circle inside of these to make the center of the zinnia. And of course, the bigger shapes, I'm going to add bigger circles, and the smaller ones, I'm going to add smaller circles, just like that. And now I'm going to fill in the rest of the space with some stems. So starting with my vessel, I'm going to go up to my flower, and I want to do two lines because a stem is not just one line. It's actually a 3D shape. So we want to make sure we have two lines. And I'm going to connect these flowers down here. Now I'm going to connect the ones up here. So I'm going to start at the center and I'm going to go down, and if I hit a flower, I'm going to stop, come to the other side, and finish my stem, just like that. Stop, come to the other side, finish. We don't want to draw our stems through our flowers. Stop, come to the other side, this one way up here, stop, come to the other side, and stop, come to the other side, just like that. And if you accidentally draw it in the flower, just erase. Now I'm going to fill in the rest of the space with leaves. So I'm going to make some stems that kind of come out here like this. And then I'm going to add some ovals to these stems. I'm going to add some on the side, all the way down like that to look like leaves. I can do some leaves on the stems I already drew for my flower, so maybe I'm going to add some leaves here and here. And if they're going behind a flower, you don't have to draw the full leaf. You can just draw part of it.
The circus is coming to town. It said on the bar.
So really just put them wherever you think you need to fill your space. Remember, we're trying to fill our space. So if you see an empty space, that doesn't look right, you can add another little flower or you can add more stems. I think mine's pretty good, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go back with a black crayon and I'm going to trace over my pencil because I'm actually going to color mine with watercolor and I want to make sure I can see my drawing. Now, when you're tracing, just remember to be careful and go slow so that you are drawing on your lines. You don't want to go really fast and then you have a squiggle line that comes off of your drawing. So I'm just going to go slow and take my time and trace what's already there. So go ahead and trace if you started with pencil.
Get your tickets now before it's too late. A dancing bear and a circus clown that's so funny. Oh, I can't wait.
All right, now that you're done tracing everything with black, if you'd like to, you can add some patterns to your vase or you can leave it plain. I'm gonna leave mine plain, but make sure you sign your name before you start coloring. That way you have your name on your paper. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and do watercolor with mine. You can use whatever coloring materials you have at home. If you're going to use watercolor, remember you have to prep your paint. So I'm going to dip my brush in my water and then just get a little bit of water in my paint and swirl it around. I like to dip it about 3 times. Sometimes it takes a little bit more than that. You really have to look at it and see if does it look like it's nice and runny like Kool-Aid or does it look too thick like toothpaste. If it's too thick, always add more water. So I just like to go and prep every single color because I never know what I'm going to use until I start painting. Just like that. And then once everything's prepped, you can start painting. Now, I like to stay away from the too dark colors like black and brown just because they tend to cover up your picture and you want to be able to see your nice drawing. So you really want to try to stay away from those really dark blacks and browns if you have it in your paint. So I am not even going to add water to my black. I'm just going to leave it alone. So I'm going to slide this over and I'm going to start painting. Now you want to start either one of two ways. You can start by painting at the top and work your way down. That way you don't smudge your paint as you go. Or you can paint all your flowers in your vase, let it dry for a minute or two, and then paint the background. That's up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to do the flowers in the vase and then paint the background once it's dry. If you have different size brushes, you can use them to paint in the small places. If you only have one size brush, then you have to turn your brush to get in those small areas. So I have a flat brush, but if I want to get into these small stems, then I take my brush and I just turn it like this and I just move it up and down to get in that little space. And I can do that all the way down here like that to get in these stems, and I can turn it this way now and get in those leaves. So you can see how you're turning the brush and getting in those spaces. And any space that's between a flower and a stem, you can decide if that's going to be the background color or if you want it to be green. If you look at Clementine Hunter, she would fill those spaces in with the stem color. So I could go ahead and I could fill that spot in with green, just like that. So go ahead and paint your picture. And remember, you can start by painting your vase and flowers first, and then once it's dry, paint your background. Or you can just start painting from the top and go all the way down, okay? All right, my amazing artists, finish painting your picture or coloring your picture if you're using markers or crayons. amazing artists, our Clementine Hunter Zinnias picture is done. Now, if yours is wet like mine, if you decided to use paint for yours, make sure it dries before you try to take a picture of it and upload it because sometimes when you move it around when it's wet, you can smudge your paint. If it's already dry or you use marker or crayon, then you can go ahead and have an adult help you take a picture and upload it to the Google Classroom. I can't wait to see your amazing pictures.